Good morning and welcome to another edition of Money Talks with Stephen Diedrichs here on Radio Kidnappers on this lovely Tuesday morning. So just like to say again a great bunch of gratitude going out to Ken and Jill and their team here at Radio Kidnappers for putting the show together, and also to our lovely sponsors. Thank you to you all. Today we're going to be sharing about Christmas, and I know you may think Christmas, it's only September, but it's it's 3 months away. Well, to be exact, I think it's around about 14 weeks before Christmas time, and there's lots of planning that goes into Christmas. And I know the Hastings District Council is putting on quite a big show for Christmas this year. They, when I say big show, it's just they're putting a lot of effort to beautify. They will be beautifying Hastings, and as we've all been through COVID, just to make things a bit more happier and friendlier for us all. So I think that's a great thing, and a great many thanks go out to the Hastings District Council for that. So today we're going to be looking at Christmas and the holidays. So also we're going to focus on our on financing Christmas and looking at planning it, and that what got me thinking of people's money blueprint. And yeah, I'm not talking about having the amount of money in your bank account, because that is a result of your financial blueprint. So what I'll be talking about is just planning for Christmas and taking the time to do that, but also alongside, while you're planning Christmas and your holidays, also taking the time to plan your financial future, or your long-term financial plans, alongside planning Christmas. I've read somewhere that it's been said that people take more time planning their holidays than actual planning their finances. So our blueprint is going to be part of that. So I think the best way to kind of start it is with an example, and if you have a maths example. I know it's early in the morning, but we'll do maths. So if you have 8 businesses and you sell 4 businesses, what do you have left? And many people would say you have 4 businesses left. Well, that's not exactly true, because you have 4 businesses left, but you also have the money that you received from selling those 4 businesses. So that's really the real answer. Now, if you compare that to another maths problem that says if you have 3 apples and you give away 2, then you have 1 apple left. So if you compare those two maths problems, for me it indicates, and I saw this on a YouTube channel, but it indicates that where you've come from and how you're thinking within yourself. So and where your money blueprint sits. So if you're more on the Apple side of the scale of the maths problem, then you're unlikely to have been in grown up around people that talk about businesses and generating income from businesses so that they can sell those businesses and generate money. You'd be more on the side of people that are really coming down to not having any finances to continue to have a stress-free Christmas, and you be with people that are really working on a week-to-week basis, or fortnightly or monthly. That's when the next paycheck comes in, and you'd also likely to have grown up and been around people who think things like, or say things like, you can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or I just don't have money for that. And then I think there's the classic, or well, I shouldn't say classic, but something that I've heard. It's the camel saying. I think goes something like. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven. Yep, I think that's how it goes. And so growing up with that type of words being said, and in that environment, gives you a financial blueprint where you are giving your apples away, and unlikely to have discussions about how to plan your finances for the future. So the great thing about that is when we're born, we're not born with a financial blueprint. We're just born into our parents and our community. And then we learn that financial blueprint from the people around us, and mostly it's our parents. And so the good thing with that is that we know, yep, I've learned this blueprint. So now the reason I say it's great is because you've learned it, so you can learn a new blueprint and change it to one that you actually want. And this is if you want to, because learning a new blueprint is a hard thing. And I'll give you an example myself. It's where I started saving money, and you still have your normal bills that we have, and even rich people have bills as well. So we still had my normal bills, and I was saving up money. And then or what would happen is you'd get to like a comfort point, and you're starting to save a bit more than what you initially thought, and all of a sudden a larger bill would come, and then I'd feel a bit out of my comfort zone and think, oh, I've got to pay that bill because I'm now feeling uncomfortable. And to do that, I would dip into the savings and pay that bill, and once the bill's paid, then I'd feel comfortable again and relaxed. After a time, I thought that, or learned that, I could actually ring up the bill company and tell them that I'm going to pay part of the bill now and the balance in a week or two's time. And I found that the bill company was actually quite happy, because they were happy to, one, hear from me, and two, they were happy with the payment plan that I arranged with them. So I learned that I can continue my savings and still get all the bills paid. Now, the one thing you have to remember is that this is not a one-off thing, because as you continue, if we stick with savings to save, and we get over some hurdles and pick up new blueprints, the higher the hurdles, or the higher we reach in getting over those hurdles, the more hurdles will come in place. Now, there's always this void that's going to be filled, so we will constantly be growing. So it's not a one-off thing. So I suggest that maybe we make a big financial goal, and like I'm talking just something just big, really big, not a goal that you can achieve, because if it's something you can achieve, that's not really a goal, So if you do it something big, and then work towards that, set a plan in place, and work on your financial blueprints to move away from where you are now financially. And I know it's gone a bit off the Christmas topic, so we'll get back onto that. But it is important, and the reason it's important is because if you look at where you were last year, and yes, we had COVID, but that's just an excuse, I think, because there was financial support available. But if you look at where you were last year, and if you look at where you are this year, and you're at the same spot or a bit further behind, then you may seriously want to look at why that is. And I go back to it's your financial blueprint and what's and the way you were brought up is part of it. So I'll just get into the Christmas part. So we'll stick with the planning bit of it. So with planning for Christmas, there's a couple of things, and I suggest the first thing is just to take care of yourself firstly, because as you know, Christmas can be a highly stressful time, and yeah, so just maintain your sanity around it, and also with you may have gone to the gym and started eating healthier early in the year, and I'm feeling really good with yourself. When we get to Christmas time, it may be that we decide we want to let that go, and and it's so easy when we're around everybody else that's having a good time and having a couple of drinks or having an extra piece of cake or cookie, and we want to do that as well. So I suggest when we do that, just think about all the time and the effort that we've put into getting ourselves where we want to be, and maybe have a bit less of that. Instead of having 3 wines, have one, or just one piece of cake. But enjoy yourself as well. So I think, yeah, that's taking care of ourselves is very important there. The other thing is just with budgeting. It is a time of spending money, and I will touch on credit cards because a lot of people tend to speak on that, and I think it's quite valid. But if at all possible, try not to use them, or if you do use them, pay them off before the end of the month. And I know with myself, I've never been that way, but now things are good. So yeah, so if you can use cash to pay for things, that's a good thing. And also work out your budget. So work out if you're buying presents, how many people you need to buy presents for, and what type of presents you'd like to buy. And if you're in a bigger family or an extended family that gets together, you may decide, let's do a Kris Kringle. And you could say, okay, it's the cap is $50, and then people will, in your family or the extended family, they may then take some extra time and getting the gift and put some thought into it, and get something that's well, say a bit more quality, for lack of a better word. I'm sure all the gifts that people buy are of the good heart. So that's a way that you can do that with your budget. The other thing is, like, we're now in September. If you could look at buying gifts now as opposed to in December, or the closer it gets to Christmas, that is likely to save you some money. And if there are other things you can do, like you could buy some things in bulk, and there may not be things for Christmas. It could be just other foodstuffs, and toilet paper just popped into my head. I'm sure the shops still have them, but buying that in bulk now will give you some extra money that you can put aside to save. So that's a good thing. And then also just look at your a minor thing, like if you look at your decorations, a reasonable amount can be spent on decorations at Christmas time, especially if you're doing the whole house and outside the house as well. You may want to have a look at them and see, look, they're still good. Last year's are still good, so you still want to use them. And also, did the person really look at the star at the top of the tree? And it may be important for you and your kids. So I'm not saying don't have it, but if last year's one is good, then use that. So those are some practical things you can do around Christmas time. Also, the other thing is we've in the office that I'm in, we just recently had an email about Christmas party, so you could also budget that out and look at how you're going to travel there. Are you taking a taxi or an Uber home after you've had a couple of drinks? So keep that in mind when you budget. And then just last thing on the gifts, you could do homemade gifts as well. Sometimes people really like that because you've put in the effort to actually make something, and it's your creation. So it would give you a good feeling there as well. Then the other thing is, I'll just go into shopping days, and I think this should probably have gone with the taking care of yourself, but shopping is always an interesting time. I'd suggest selecting a practical day for shopping, and try and do your shopping alone. So you leave the kids at home, or with the neighbors or someone, but just go out and also be focused on your shopping. So for example, if you're just going out for presents, then you just buy the presents. You don't buy anything else because that's what you're there for, and the presents are done. You'd also keep an eye out for sales. As we lead up to Christmas, there may be sales while people bring in the new stock, and especially now with the change of season, you could get some good sales before the summer series of stock comes in. And also if you're shopping online, just keep in mind that the delivery time that it takes for things to get to your place. And also you will want to wrap it, so there's got to be enough time for that, and hopefully the product that you've bought would be exactly what you want, but if not, you should allow for time to send it back. So those are just a couple of things around that. And also look at managing expectations, especially for around children. They may write Santa a letter and as to what they want, but you may suggest to them, how about writing a Santa letter and telling Santa to pick a toy himself or herself, and Santa can do the picking, and that way they don't know what they're getting, and it leaves you with more flexibility. Also, with the toys, you may want to look at the toys that are not being used, and they may they may be recycled for other children. You may have a problem with, even though that toy that's laying in the corner has been dusty and haven't been played with, that your child may not want to get rid of the toy anyway. So that may crop up, but so if you that's one way that you can pass on toys to other people. The other thing is, if you may want to give your child some money to buy a present, and they may buy a present for their sibling, and that would also teach them a bit about money, in that things have a price and they've got to be paid for, and they may like a particular gift, but when they actually look at how much money they have, they may realize that they actually need more money. So which is a good thing, because it's it's a bit of a you got to look at, okay, this is for Christmas, so you want to teach them something. If they don't have enough money to buy the particular gift that they have, it's not for them saying, okay, I don't have enough money. It's more, you could suggest to them to try and work out, how do I get more money? And how do I get more money is not ask mommy or daddy. It's they could do something, maybe chores around the house, or depending on their age, just go and work somewhere. Because I think that not so much of what they do to get the money, but the in bringing into their consciousness that I wanted to buy a particular toy, but I only had $30 and it costs $40, and in their consciousness, if you can bring into, okay, how do I get the other 10? What do I have to do to get the other 10? If we can bring that across to them, rather than, oh, I don't have $40, I only have $30, I have to buy something else. Because if we can get rid of that, yeah, and bring into them the way of thinking to how do I get it, that just makes for a better blueprint for them. And if they can continue to learn that, then in the future, I think that their lives will be better, because they will constantly be thinking, how do I? And I think that's just going to help them better with their finances. So also, the other thing that you may want to do is show them what else is around there, and show your children what else is around there, around them, and where we live. And I'll relay a story. I think I relayed the story maybe a good couple of months ago, but I'll just say it again. And I took my girls to South Africa, and we were sitting in a food court eating, and I told them to leave some food on a plate, and then we walked away, and I told them to watch, and then we turned around and watched, and some other kids came and took the food from the plates and ate it. And I explained to them that there are many kids that they don't have food at home, and they go to school and they get fed at school. And I know in some of our schools here we also feed children. The thing is, when because they don't have food at home during school time, it's not when they have holiday time then all of a sudden there's food at home. So those kids have to get food somewhere. So I just, in that example, pointed out to my children that, look, not everybody lives the way we live here in New Zealand, and that's just what they're doing to get some food. So I know it's a different example as opposed to here in Hawke's Bay in New Zealand, but if you can find some other ways where the children can see that what they have and the way they live it's not, everybody doesn't live the same way. That would help manage expectations with Christmas presents and your budget. So just lastly, because I think I have a short amount of time, use cash rather than credit cards. If you have loyalty points, try and have a look at that. If you're having big extended parties with the lead up to Christmas, you could tell your friends, oh, look, do you want to bring some salads, and you guys bring some meat, and that way, it's everybody's sharing, and it's I think it's better than saying bring a plate, because you don't know what people are going to bring. But and if you tell people to bring a specific thing, at least you'll be sure that they will bring something, and that you'll have a variety on that. So that's me for now. But I want to end up on a joke. It's I think it's quite funny, but you can decide. So anyway, this guy, he's quite wealthy, and he tells his friends, look, I want to take it all with me when I die. I'm just going to take it all with me. So he invites his friends, a priest and a university professor and a doctor. So he invites them around to his house, and he gives them each an envelope, and in the envelope is $100,000. And they look at it and go, okay, fine. And he tells them, when I die, at the funeral, you have to put it in my coffin, the envelope, because I want to take it all with me. And they all say, yep, fine. So the day comes, the guy dies, they have the funeral, and the doctor goes up, puts the envelope in, so does the priest and the university professor. So afterwards at the wake, they're having a drink, and then the doctor says, okay, look, this is what I did. It was $100,000. I took out $50,000 because the hospital needs another wing, and I donated that to the hospital, and I left the other $50,000, and I put it in the coffin. And then the university professor looked at them and went, okay, seeing that we're confessing, the university needed another building, and I took out $50,000 as well, donated it to the university, and put the other $50,000 in the coffin. So they're looking at the priest and they're thinking, come on, we're confessing. And the priest looks at them and goes, are you guys mad? I wrote a check for $100,000 and put it in there and kept the money. So thanks for listening. And look, it's summertime, springtime. It's longer days, so enjoy the time, and just take care with planning for Christmas, so that your finances can be much better, and that you can go through the after Christmas period, because there's still going to be 5-6 weeks before the kids go back to school, where they have to be entertained. So this is Stephen Diedrichs from Taxile in Hawke's Bay, and nationally as well. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.